Hassani, are you sure you're ready for this party to get started? Okay, we can start. We can start this party. Okay. All right, I've opened Touch Portal, and now I'm closing Touch Portal, so Hassani will be able to control my scenes, but only for a little bit. Later, there's some new stuff that he's not going to be able to control, but it's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Am I in focus, do we think? I found this new trick because this camera, you have to hold the button, the shutter down for it to focus, but I'm not close enough to be able to focus it. So I figured I could do this, and then I can push the button. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Wow. Well, Hassani, nothing is new with me. How about you? Oh, command Discord. What? That's exciting. I'm going to click it and see what happens. Woohoo! Accept invite. Can I be invited to my own thing? Okay, but I'm not going to open Discord right now because I don't know what that's going to unleash on this whole stream. Who knows? Okay. So, I don't know. I feel like I never know how to start this because I don't know when people are going to get here. So I might just jump in and play some Tetris. got plenty to talk about, but I want to make sure that you know, I need to add a schedule on the scheduled channel when I get the chance. On Discord, I assume you mean? Okay, wait. I'm going to get my controller. Okay. Also, I'm really disappointed with how this the green screen action that's happening up here. I don't know where it is. Up here, it doesn't look great. I have 3 giant lights shining on the green screen. Then I have another light over there, and then I have another light right here, and it's still not well lit enough, which is very annoying. Hassani, I will add a schedule on that. I don't know when to do the music thing. I'm thinking if I do Tetris on Mondays, music on Thursdays, and then whatever random fun thing I want to throw in on Saturdays. I think I want to do like a cooking thing, and I want to do a movie thing. And maybe I could like alternate those or swap where it'll be like second and fourth Saturdays of the month I do a thing on Saturdays. And then otherwise it's Mondays Tetris, Thursdays music. But I might add another day of music, depending. We'll see how it goes. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Okay. I'm just gonna play Tetris if I can find. There I am. There she is with her game. Look at her and her game. Woo! Cool. I don't know. I feel like I have so much to talk about, but I don't want to start now because it's mostly Hassani and you already heard all this. And then, oh, it's tea time. Thank you, Alexa. Tonight we're doing an herbal supplements tea. It's just like a nice decaf. Lots of different flavors and tastes going on. Delish. Okay, great. Oh, and this, by the way, I don't think I've ever shown this mug. The Donut Pub in New York City. Love the Donut Pub. It's like 14th and 7th, I think. And they make an excellent turkey sandwich for real cheap. And obviously they have lots of great donuts, which I'm a big fan of. Okay. I'll put this out there. This is you need to take care of some stuff for work. You're half here tonight. That's okay. Half here is fine. This is a fun little thing I'll talk about later. Hassani, you probably can guess what this is. Oh, look, it makes me upside down. That's exciting. We'll talk about that momentarily. For now, let's get started. We're starting on level 15. I learned that that is one of the 2 options of levels you can start on at the Tetris World Championship. So I was like, great. I'm going to just start practicing starting on level 15. Well, we were off to a reasonable start, and now I've got these little holes here, and I'm going to have to dig my way out, but that's okay. That's okay. You can do it, me. No. Digging myself deeper and deeper. If anyone else is lurking or hanging out and you want to drop a line, say hello. Let me know. You don't have to call. You're welcome to call. I don't know that I will take calls once my guest joins me, but I technically can't. Oh, come on, Markwart. What are you doing? Okay, well, I got a Tetris. That's exciting. I've been trying to work to, like, I played earlier today, which is the high score that's on my screen between games right now. But I got like a Tetris when it was pretty high, and I was trying to work it down to nothing, and I got and that's not something I'm very good at. That's something I need to keep working at. Like when there's a bunch of holes at the bottom, managing to get a Tetris while also digging out the holes. Not a strength of mine, but I did it earlier today, and I was very excited. I did a little giddy dance. And actually, I had a stellar score that could have very easily been on its way to breaking my personal best. And then just like one thing went in a dumb place, and I was like, nope. And it crashed and burned within seconds. Which is what you love to see. You love to see it. We're quiet tonight. Nobody else is here yet. Do we think... how do we feel about Mondays? I kind of like doing this on Mondays because I don't know what... Well, I guess I do know some other shows that are on Mondays too. I was going to say it's nice for me because then performers are available. Not any more so or less so than any other day. I'm rambling because I don't know what to talk about except for the one thing that I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about that yet until my guest gets here because I want her to hear. The suspense. Uh-oh, we're getting a phone call. Where's my phone? Okay.
From
Mick.
to accept, press 1. To send.
Hello?
Rebecca Marquardt.
Mick, how are you?
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm alive, baby.
I am too, sweetheart. I have missed you immensely. How are you doing there? Are you killing it at Tetris? What's going on?
Yeah, always. You know me, making the big bucks. making nothing, but you know what?
Post?
Wait, what was your last post about?
My last post was, you used to bag with me, you got this.
Oh, yeah. Tetris came up a lot while bagging groceries. People be like, oh, you're very good at this. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
Yes, I was great at Tetris when I was a kid. It's what I say to all of them, and half of them say it back to me.
Uh-huh.
How's everything, my friend? Is everything well with your niece and nephew, I believe?
Yeah, they're pretty good. I lost my game. That's okay.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, they're adorable.
I'm
No, that's not your fault. That just happens sometimes, you know. No, they're good. They are, my current top, it is 375. Okay, cool. Sorry, my top score. I thought I was like, wait, there's no way that I broke it earlier. I didn't. Anyway, sorry. This is a very ADD experience hanging out with me here.
You are perfectly fine. I'm putting you on speaker to see if I can get you back up on the monitor as well.
Okay. How is it freezing and snowing there? Mick is in Manhattan.
Yep, I got you. So, yeah, it is freezing and snowing here right now. We are up to about, I'm going to say 7 to 8 inches.
Wow.
And supposed to have it straight through till tomorrow at 7 p.m.
I mean, like, yeah, I know that it's not safe, but I'm also, like, weirdly jealous. Like, I miss snow. I love snow so much. And, like, it's kind of, I mean, as much as it's a bad thing, it's also kind of fun when there's a blizzard in New York City because then everyone goes outside with, like, their snow boots and their sleds and they just, you know, like, it turns into
Oh, my God. Nobody's going outside for any reason today, I'll tell you that much. I was out earlier to get my rent voucher, and I think it's into about 4 people from 75th Street in Columbus all the way to 68th Street in Columbus. So nobody's out there. The only people who were hard, fast, and true were Fairway and Black Cup Coffee.
Wow.
And by the way, I mentioned Black Cup Coffee has one of the most amazing people working there.
Yeah? I don't know that place. Where is that?
Okay, so that is Columbus Avenue between 73rd and 74th Street.
Okay.
They're awesome.
Nice.
The coffee is amazing, but the people are even better.
Nice.
And I don't know if you've been keeping up with me at all, but I've had some major changes recently. And one of them is my name, which is now Kieran Fox. I do not go by Nick anymore.
But Kieran was part of your name before, right?
Well, Kieran Fox was my last name, and I just cut out the front man and went straight to middle and last.
Okay. All right, Kieran, I can get down with that.
Right
on. What prompted the name change?
and I hope you will too. Like the thing that opens locks and emancipates people.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I am a gender non-binary.
Nice.
It's a brand new experience for me.
That's
and
awesome.
in walking into Black Cup Coffee for the first time last week,
Uh-huh.
I got to meet, and it's killing me. Right now I am exhausted, so names are falling out of my head. But this person who served was the very first person to ever say something to me that was completely self-affirming.
Aw.
I didn't give this person, a name for my coffee.
Mhm.
So they were asking, and I was talking to somebody else in the room about movies. And at that point, they turned to me and said, "You go ahead over to the end of the line, Freebird. Your coffee will be waiting for you."
Aw.
From today, how important that was to me.
That's
because nobody has
amazing.
ever did that before. Yeah, so things are going great here, buddy.
Aw.
We miss you so much. We miss you so much.
I miss New York.
I'm sure you do.
I want to be back there at some point, but I also just like my mental health is so much better having space here. And it's just, like I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you find the balance of like making enough money to afford a lifestyle that keeps your brain sane, but then also, I don't know. I did the starving artist lifestyle for a long time, and I was all right. And then pandemic hit, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm losing my brain.
You are an artist. You really are an artist. And I really paid attention to it wasn't a podcast. I'm sorry. I'm kind of new to all of this technology stuff.
I mean, I have a podcast. That might have been what it was. Who knows?
It was the one where you used your sound machine.
Oh, yeah. My looper covers.
Absolutely. Looping with Rebecca, I think it was called. Or something.
Yeah, Rebecca Loops. It's like my whole YouTube channel.
That's it. Rebecca Loops. And oh my God, you are so talented. So for starters, we need more like you back here as soon as, I'm seeing you dead again. I'm sorry.
I know. No, it was a good round though. It always ends eventually. So you just go for the best score you can and just,
Rebecca, we need many more people like you to come back to this city. We do not need the bullshitters who abandoned us. Sorry. We need more people like you to come back to us as soon as humanly possible.
Oh.
And you have my messenger information, so let's talk soon because I have something I'd like to share with you, okay?
Okay, that sounds great. Wait, Kieran, before you go, what are your preferred pronouns? What are your pronouns?
Well, I'm a little bit different from the Madden crowd. I go with he, him,
okay,
she, her,
okay,
they, them, there.
Okay, so you're flexible. You're a little. My friend Kat also is kind of like, yeah, all the pronouns are fine.
That's it.
Sweet. I like it. All right, cool. Well, let's chat more soon. I want to hear what's going on with you.
I want to hear more of what's going on with you as well, and you just have a great night. I am so happy to have caught you here.
I thank you. It's a quiet night here in Tetris World, so I'm excited to have someone to talk to.
All right. Well, you keep kicking ass there, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
All right, bye. So Kieran and I worked together at Trader Joe's in Manhattan, and we always had a delightful time together. Like, I remember when he, they, she, I'm gonna probably just alternate between all the pronouns because why not? When he started it was short. I think it was shortly before Thanksgiving. And then there was like a holiday meal they would do. It wasn't a party, but it was like an after hours meal. And then you just kind of hang out and chat with everyone. And it was like a party, but there was no booze. What do you call that? But we just started. It was the two of us and one other new person. I had been there for a little bit. I wasn't quite as new as them. Kieran and another gal who had just started, the three of us just were chatting it up, and we had shared some similar experiences that I really hoped that was going to make it all the way over, but it didn't, and that's okay. Anyway, it's really nice to hear from people. New York is getting hit like crazy right now with bad weather. And I'm like, I shouldn't say that I'm sad to not be there because it's not good weather. It's dangerous. And, it gets tricky because then you've got kids that can't go to school and the food centers where people get food who can't afford to buy food. Those are closed. So, it's not a good situation. But I love winter and I love seeing the city, especially in I think it's like seeing the city in times like that makes you feel even more like a New Yorker because no tourist would voluntarily be there when the weather is like that. Like, I have always been delighted with just having the most boring, normal experiences in New York because it's like, this is what it's like when you live here, when it's just your life, not a vacation. I don't know. It's still so quiet. Where is everybody, Hassani? Oh, another call. Oops. Trying to use my mouse instead of a...
Call from
Tyler.
Tyler.
To accept.
Hello, Tyler.
Hey there, Ms. Lubes.
Hello. How are you?
I'm all right. I noticed you're wearing like a Texas cap, which is fun because I was born in Texas, but I'm in New York under like snow.
Do you live there? Or are you visiting?
No, I'm living in New York right now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's what I was born and raised in Texas and then just kept moving farther and farther and farther away. And then eventually finally made my way to New York, which I think was always the goal. Killed that round. But then I actually lived back in Texas for 1 year a few years ago for some family stuff and then moved back to New York. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to hit the ground running. Everything's going to be great. And then less than 2 years after that, the pandemic hit and I just was working Trader Joe's and retail, and it was more than I could handle. I was like, I am really good under pressure, but this is not pressure. This is insanity. I was like, I think I need a break. Yeah. So now I'm back in Texas again for a bit.
I left Texas very young. Not my choice. I was maybe 2. Katy, Texas, outside of Houston.
Yeah, I know Katy. Katy Mills Mall. There's a Buc-ee's in Texas or in Katy. Probably wasn't there when you were here if you left a long time ago. But.
A long time ago. Which part of New York did you go to?
I bounced around. So I started in Park Slope in Brooklyn, and then I was in Washington Heights. I don't know why I'm trying to think of a different name. It's just Washington Heights. Washington Heights for about a year, and then I was in West Harlem my last year there, which was my favorite, but just because it was like closer and closer to where I wanted to be. So it was like a relatively short commute to get to work. I worked at the 72nd Street Trader Joe's, so it was a straight shot.
Oh, okay.
Which was nice. Yeah, the crazy Trader Joe's that you walk in and you never know what you're gonna get. What disaster is happening today?
Good to know. I was in Sunnyside.
Okay. Yeah. No, I loved that Trader Joe's location, but it was so insanely busy because it's right off the 1, 2, and 3. So you get people on their way home from anywhere south of us to anywhere in either Upper Manhattan, the Bronx. Sometimes I think I don't remember. I feel like there's like a connection to Queens. Maybe it was like people from the Upper West Side heading south to get home to Queens. I don't know. It was a store that really got way more foot traffic than it could handle for its size, but we made it work.
I was very fortunate to find myself in the city because I grew up in a very small town, like 1,500, and I had a scholarship to St. John's in Queens, and at the time they bought the risk management school in Manhattan, 2 blocks away from the World Trade.
Huh. That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
What? So did you stay in New York from then out? Like after you finished school and stuff, you were like, "This is perfect. I'm gonna live here forever."
I spent a couple years doing my degree in Long Island, and then I decided I didn't like my degree. So
what was your degree in?
Went back to the country. I was negotiating auto claims for Allstate, so I was an insurance investigator and negotiator. Which is very fun, but if you look at the people who have been doing it for 25 years, it's like,
Yeah.
Finger on my nose, not it.
I mean, hey, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, you try and figure out something that makes you happy, hopefully.
Thanks.
It's great advice,
I appreciate
but
what you're doing.
Yeah, like the advice is good, but applying it is like, okay, but how does that look in actuality? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Hey, you and me as well. But thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign off right now.
Okay, cool. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, okay. Thank you for calling, Tyler. Auto insurance claims, that's relevant to my story tonight. Oops. I'm gonna tank this round. Yeah, I got into my first car accident ever last Friday, but I'm gonna tell you about it when my friend gets here. Her name is also Rebecca. Rebecca Sohn. She's a fabulous improviser and performer, and just an all-around great person. She should be here sometime soon-ish. All right. I did music last week. I did it 2 times. Live stream music. It was real fun. I really liked it. And it felt very like casual and chill, and like I didn't have to. I think part of why it took me so long to do a music live stream is I felt like I had to like be ready, and I had to have songs prepared and practiced and beautiful and na. And then I wanted to make music, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw together the quickest little OBS setup that I can possibly find, and I'm just gonna stream it and see what happens. And it was super fun, and had some nice folks there hanging out and chatting, and I don't know, it was great. Felt really good. So I will definitely be doing more of that. I gotta settle on a schedule. Hassani has the... Ooh, whoops. Nope, that doesn't go the way that I was thinking it was gonna go. Oh my gosh! Oh, somebody's writing. Tyler, hello. You just gotta be you and do you. Don't worry about anything else. Do you mean like that nobody is watching? Why would I worry about that? No pressure. It's the performer brain in my brain that's trying to, I don't know, make it good and make it, I don't know. It's hard when you want to do the arts for a living to figure out how to make something just because you want to make it and not try to monetize it. Because, you know, I mean, the goal is to monetize it because then you can make it your job and then you can do more of it. And that's exciting and that's great. But then it puts all this like added pressure on it, which I think is not helpful to most artistic endeavors, but particularly artistic endeavors where you're trying to like make things on the internet. And I'm still adjusting to this like live stream format where it doesn't have to, where, I mean, like the benefit that I was talking about with the music live stream, that it's like, oh, I can just kind of hang out and play and just, you know, it doesn't have to sound perfect and it doesn't have to be album ready. I can just chill and make music and people have fun with it. And that's weird because I come from, you know, where it's like, oh, spend months and months. Oh, I thought that was going to make that go away. Yeah, spending a whole bunch of time. Wow, this is going downhill quickly. All right, one more line. That's good. Nope, that was the last line. Yeah, but just spending an insane amount of time. I keep reaching and touching my phone instead of my mouse, and it's making, I gotta move my phone. A smarter person would have done that a while ago. You were born in, oh, I don't know where Kelly, oh, Katie. Is Kelly another town in Texas, or do you mean Katie? So your hat and that, yeah. No, it's, hey, 10 points to 6 users. Woo! Oh, I think this week I should, you were cheating on Katie. I think this week I should be able to apply for affiliate status, which is cool. It means that I should be able to give you more like fun things to use in the chat. I'm not entirely sure what it means. I'm going to be completely honest, but we're going to figure it out together. That's this entire platform, really. Yeah. I feel like my brain was going somewhere and now it's gone. Yeah, I don't know. That feels like my big stressor this week is trying to figure out money stuff and how to do that safely. There's a position that I applied for with the Austin Film Festival that looks awesome. And it's an in-person position, which I don't know if that means like, oh, 7 days a week you'll be in the office with 15 other people in the small office and we all just trust each other so we don't wear masks, or I have so many precautions about it, but I'm keeping an open mind because they're smart, artistic people. At least they put on a good festival, so I assume that they're smart people and they're in the arts, so I would hope that they are also fairly cautious. So, yeah, we'll see. It would be awesome, though, to have a job. Oh. Anybody else? Who else wants a job? I'll see if I can find one for all of us. I don't want to jinx it, but this round is going pretty well. Ooh. Okay, good. Not jinxed yet. That was a little scary because I wasn't really sure where to put that piece, and then it turned out okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know why I didn't take the Tetris there. That was dumb. Ooh, please don't let that have been a tragic mistake. I am buying myself all kinds of time, but I need the lines. Okay. Why not? Oh. It's a quiet house tonight. But that's okay. How much am I expected to talk? If the chat is quiet, do I get to just be quiet also? Is that allowed? Do people watch live streams if the person streaming literally doesn't say anything the entire time? Or is that when I become fired? At what point do I get fired? Watching top score. I know, right? But I gotta get rid of all these holes. And this is gonna just keep adding friggin' lines to my... Like, this is just not a good build right now. This is a tragic... I'm gonna need some serious help here soon. Oh, come on. No, this is gonna be the end of it. Damn it. Well. So close. Okay, hang on. I know. That was tragic. Them's the loops. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Oh, well, where is this one? Okay, I'm trying to... Yes, leave and start. She's waiting in the Zoom room, but the Zoom room says that there's no one there, and that's annoying. Okay, start that. Participants. Hey! Okay, here she comes. Oops, wait. Here comes Rebecca Sohn. Here comes Rebecca Sohn. Hey! Wait. Oh, there you are. Okay, wait. Let me see. Now let's see how this goes. Zoom with talk. Hey! Oh, man.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. It's so lovely to see your face.
It's real lovely to see yours. I'm digging your Texas hat.
Yeah, this is I don't know what's happening to my hair today, so let's just boop.
Yep. I sure do. Yeah, I went ponytail.
It's a nut, but it's good. You do like you're good at it's like the messy ponytail that's like, oh, this whole thing, I just threw this up, but it looks amazing. I do that, and it looks like I like rolled out of bed. Like I had a huge pillow fight, and then I fell asleep for 8 hours, and then I got out of bed, and it's like, oh, that's a choice.
Yeah, I have bedhead all the time. Like that's just my hair is like curly-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it just really just looks crazy most of the time, and I'm like, I did my hair. I washed it, I dried it, I put on all kinds of ointments and stuff like that, and then it just looks insane. And that's just how it is.
You're like, no.
So the good news is then when I put it in a ponytail, it's like, oh yeah, you got that cool messy ponytail. I'm like, yeah, well, because I have messy hair.
Well, it looks fabulous.
Thank you.
I apologize that you had to wait. I don't know what it is with my Zoom that when I give you like theoretically, if I send you my just Zoom ID, you should be able to just click on it and it will take, and then that way when I go into Zoom, I just start a meeting, and then if someone clicks on the link, it shows up. But I had the meeting open and it never said someone was joining, and then I go to my email and it's like, Rebecca Sohn is waiting for you to start your meeting, and I'm like, it's right here. What? I don't. I gotta figure that out. I'll talk to Andy. He's good at that stuff. He knows how that works. I don't know.
I don't know, and I kind of don't care. I'm just like, well, I'm in the waiting room, so I'll wait. I'll wait, and I'll knit in the waiting room.
Is it another hat? What are you knitting this time?
No, I'm making a scarf to go with my pretty pink hat.
Nice.
Because I had extra. That ball of yarn I got was huge, so I was like, well,
nice.
I guess I'll make a hat because I don't know how to make a glove. That's too hard for me.
I think my knitting goal would be these socks are like my new let's see if I can get my foot up to my face.
Ooh.
I don't make these, but I love them, and they're like intentionally mismatched. Like the colors are it's a little weird because I have green screen stuff going on, so it's like dropping out part of my foot. Yeah, it I don't the only thing I've ever knit is I made a scarf and it was like this thick, and by the time it was finished, and I was just like, I don't want to be making this scarf anymore. I'm just done with it. It was literally the length where like one end was here, and then it did like a full circle around my neck and then came down to here on the other side. So it was like a choker scarf. It was like, you know.
You could just call it a collar.
Yeah, just bringing back the 90s in my own way, and like, look at this cute non-functional scarf that is so thin it only covers one little part of my neck. It's
That's
okay.
funny. I've actually first learned to knit twice. I learned to knit when I was like, I don't know, maybe 14. A friend, I was teaching ballet in Atlantic City and staying with a friend, and she taught me to knit, and I knit a hat that was too small for anyone but a child to wear. And I gave it to my mom, and my mom still has it, even though nobody in our family can wear it.
That's amazing.
And then like years later, like cut to me in Chicago in my 40s, and a friend of mine she taught me how to knit, and I made a scarf that was like the opposite of yours. I just never stopped because I had all this yarn. So it was crazy long, and I was so bad at it that, like, you know, you cast on, let's say 10 stitches, so you know your scarf's going to be this wide.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know how, but I would like pick up stitches and drop stitches. So my scarf was like, it was like this morphing thing. And eventually I just undid the whole thing and started again. But I didn't care. I was just like, it's the activity that I'm really enjoying. So
yeah, I love puzzles, big fan of puzzles, but like I never do the like glue them down and then put them up as wall art, because for the most part it's like, well, but I want to be able to do this one. I love this. I want to do it again. But now I've kind of switched camps where I'm like, I want to start getting new puzzles, and I have extra wall space now that I don't live in Manhattan. So I'm like, oh, that would be nice. But like the puzzles that I have are just not pictures that I want on my wall. Like it's all, you know, like a bowl of fruit. And I'm like, that's not really my thing. Like I'll do the puzzle, but I don't.
Do you really want to hang a finished puzzle on your wall, or do you want some nice art on your wall?
Both. I think if I could find the puzzle that's nice art, then it would be great. And but it's so hard to find, you know, like I just want to be like, can you just take this random picture from Google that I like and turn it into a puzzle? And the answer is no, because they don't own the copyrights to the picture, so they can't, you know, it's like, oh, okay.
I was just going to say, because I know I had found some service that would turn a picture into a puzzle, like a personal picture.
Yeah.
It could.
Okay, question. Do you know anything about Tetris?
Not one damn thing.
Cool. All right. So this is Tetris. And this is actually like, this is the old school, like 1984. I think it was an 84 Tetris game. So the whole thing behind this was I liked playing this as a kid. I was always good with like puzzles and visual, like how do you make the things fit together? So I always liked it as a kid, but then we moved the summer after 7th grade to a neighborhood where all the kids were like just far enough from me in age that we weren't really like friends right away. Like we could hang out in a group, but it wasn't, you know. But so that whole summer, I just played Tetris like all the time. It's all that I did. And I got really good at Tetris. And I would invite people over once I got in school and I started making friends. I'd be like, hey, do you want to come over? You can play Tetris. And then I would play one round and it would last like 20, 30 minutes because I was really good. And then I'd be like, okay, your turn. And then they'd play and it would last like 30 seconds. And I'd be like, cool, my turn. Can I have the control back now? So I was like, oh, that's depressing. But then I was like, well, what if I turn it into an internet thing and then I can have people join me and play Tetris?
Right. Who can't? Well, I don't know how, and I don't really.
Okay, so the goal is we'll do like a slower level. So the goal is these pieces come down, right? And then you can make it go down faster when you know where you want it to go. But once you get a line, see how that bottom line is about to be filled in all the way? Once the whole line is there, it goes away. And you get points depending on how many lines you get. But if you can get multiple lines at once, so like if I fill this in a lot more and then I get a big straight line down the side, then you get way more points. And I only learned recently that there's like Tetris World Championships now, and people score over 1 million points. So watch. So this is going to get rid of 4 lines at once, which is a Tetris, and it has a cool sound effect. It's very soothing. It makes you feel good. You're like, oh yeah, I did something awesome. Yeah. So I don't know. So that's kind of how this whole little live stream ditty came about.
It's
real
puzzles.
Simple.
It is totally, yeah. That's funny. I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle for the first time since I was a child. I borrowed one from a friend because I didn't really want to buy one, and I knew she was into puzzles, so I just asked if I could borrow one, and it turned out great. I'm super slow at it. Like, I'm not in any hurry. It's just there for me when I want it.
No, that's a good way to be. My family is big into puzzles, I think, because it creates a group activity where you don't necessarily have to talk. Because, like, I would say that for the most part, we get it. Like, my whole family gets along pretty well, but we're all so different that sometimes it's like we don't, like, I'll be so excited about this, like, some kind of theater related thing. And I'm like, oh, and then I got cast in this thing and it's going to be, and they're all just kind of like, okay. And, like, they're excited for me and they're happy for me, but they just don't understand what I'm talking about. And then it would be the same thing where it's like, my mom and brother are both doctors, so they can relate. And then my sister's a CPA, and then her husband's like a headhunter, like he places people at jobs, and so it's like we're all just kind of all over the place. So we don't have a lot of things where it's like we can just sit down and geek out together. But with puzzles, we're all like, okay, we got this. And we just sit there quietly in the same room for hours at a time, working on a puzzle. And it's like, yes, family time.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, it is such a nice, because it's kind of meditative and, like, gives your brain something to chew on that's not, like, horrible. It's just enough for your brain. I've been doing crossword puzzles a ton lately, and I only, I was never super into them. Like, I would get a bug up my butt to be like, let's do 1 or 2, but I'm not great at them.
I'm good at the ones that they give you to make you think that you're pretty good at them, like the New York Times ones, like the short ones. I'm really good at those, and then I'll pay to get the full one, like the big one, and I'm just like, what is this? This is not the same.
Yeah. I find that it's kind of the same with Jeopardy. Like, I have good days and bad days. And I don't know if it's like, oh, it's the subject matter or if it's my brain, or probably a combination of both.
Yeah,
I like doing them. And I started with the I do the LA Times crossword puzzle because you can do it online. And you can check as you go, so you can say reveal one letter or reveal the whole word.
That's nice.
And at first I was like, no, that's cheating. And now I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm not getting graded on this.
Yeah. So I would get 1 letter, then 2 letters, and now it's a lot more fun and I do more of them. And I'm getting better at them because I get to cheat a little bit. And then eventually I'm like, oh, I know, I understand the world of the crossword puzzles better.
Yeah. I was always terrible at trivia, and then I hosted trivia for years. I did pub trivia in Chicago, and just started to get after 2.5 years of hosting trivia, I was like, oh, I just understand how the questions are written. And then I went to a friend had a trivia night with her church, and it was like a fundraiser event, and she was like, I'm buying you a ticket and you can just come and join me and my family. And I was like, okay. And then they had one whole round that was specifically about their church and the town of Elmhurst, Illinois, which I have spent virtually no time in. And there were questions where it was like, this is a super duper close-up picture of a building in Elmhurst. What building is it? And I was like, honestly, it just looks like a library. Like, that looks like a handrail at a library. And they were like, no, I think it was a library. Like, I got it right. And we put in the wrong answer because they were all like, no. Because I was like, I just think this is what it is. But I don't live here, so I could be completely wrong. Just throwing it out there. But yeah, it's you practice that kind of stuff and you start to learn, like, what goes into it and how it's made. And you're like, okay, I didn't know that, but I figured it out through the questions.
Yeah. Yeah, and with some of that stuff, you just have to be in the mood. There's so many times when I'm like, we're watching Jeopardy in the background and, I'm knitting or I'm on the computer too, so I'm not paying attention. And then I pay attention for 3 seconds. I'm like, oh, got it. Or I pay attention. I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you're from New Jersey originally, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then
yes.
What was your focus? Because you talked about teaching ballet, and then I feel like if I'm pulling this random factoid about you correctly, I think it was from was it We'll Be Right Back? Was that the podcast that the music director from Second City did? Does that ring any bells at all?
Oh, are you talking about TJ Shanoff?
No. Who was the female music director who was there for like a billion years?
Oh, Ruby Streak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
I forgot. That was like 15 years ago. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But
it probably was about, because I think this was before I even moved to Chicago, so it would have been like 2007. So yeah, literally almost 15 years ago. But I feel like there was this, and I don't even know why I remember this, and it popped in my head the other day. It's another one of those things where I was like, oh, right, this was Rebecca Sohn. Did you audition for Cirque du Soleil at some point? Okay. Yes. I was like, I think that's great. Okay, and you taught ballet. So what did you study in school? Like, walk me through, like, your creative trajectory.
Okay. It's crazy. I started out as a ballerina when I was 5, and I got really good at it and went to the School of Ballet for Pennsylvania Ballet Company, was cast in the Nutcracker 4 years in a row, was the only one in my group who never had an understudy. Like, I was definitely on the ballet trajectory, and that was absolutely going to be what I did. And then my body changed, and that career was over so fast.
What changed it? Like, if you don't mind me asking, what do you mean? Tell me more.
I hit puberty, and I got hips and thighs and a butt and a C-cup bra that was still growing. Like, it happened in 1 year. It was so fast. Like, my boot, I just sprouted. It was so fast that my dad told me he thought I was pregnant because I just like blew up.
Yeah.
And if you saw pictures of me, you'd be like, oh, that's a normal child.
Yeah.
But for the ballet
But for ballet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they told me, like, I was taken into the office and they said, you have to lose 30 pounds. And I mean, I have pictures of me at that time, and
you're like, I did not need to lose 30 pounds.
There's no world in which, I mean, that's the only world where I have to lose 30 pounds. But that was it. So that was my career, and I taught ballet just for a summer. And it was really fun and cool, and I loved it. And then, so ballet ended, and honestly, I just really thought my life was over. And I was in high school, and I was into singing. So many of my stories involve my dad saying horrible things to me. So my dad told me that I couldn't sing. I was tone deaf. I was bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
I joined the choir and did really well and excelled and was in like all South Jersey chorus that you had to audition for. I was in a 5-person a cappella choir. Like my senior year, I was in like 5 different choirs. I also, so I really got into singing. I also did the school play and the musicals. We had a really like low budget, but the woman who taught the music had so much heart that she totally turned me on to musicals. She, after school one day, sat us down because we were having a conversation in one of her music classes where she was talking about the musical Guys and Dolls. And we all were like, what? Never heard of it. She was like, what? Oh, that is not okay. I want you to stay after school and I am going to play you the music. And she sat, there were like 5 of us. She sat us around the piano, told us, like, gave us the whole setup, set the story, and then would like, she knew it so well, she'd do some of the dialogue and say, and then this group sings, and she'd sing the whole thing and have a sight read over her shoulder, and played the whole musical for us.
That's
so
amazing.
That was amazing.
A one-woman rendition of Guys and Dolls.
Yes.
That's
and
awesome.
It was amazing. So I got really into musical theater. And then after high school, I moved to Boston and mostly worked. I took some classes at, you're not going to believe this, took some classes at Harvard. I said that once to someone and she was like, you did not go to Harvard.
Wait, can you just take classes at Harvard? Like you can just sign up for like...
It's called Harvard Extension.
That's amazing.
Everyone in Boston knows about it. It has no it doesn't have any pedigree. It's night school. Like it's
but it's night school at Harvard.
Right. So it's super hard and really I don't know. I didn't love it. I took 2 classes. And I joined the Harvard Radcliffe Summer Choir.
Okay.
So I sang with them. And I took some art classes, but mostly my creative career, I tried to do some stuff, but I just didn't really have anything and times were tough. I was really just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Then I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area and I went to school in Oakland. I went to Laney College and then later Merritt College. And there I discovered traditional West African dance. And it blew my mind because I had been told my body is not, I can't dance.
Yeah.
And dance was all I ever wanted to do. I just was ruined that I couldn't. So I was on the campus and I heard these drums and I just followed the sound of the drums because at the time I was studying photojournalism. And so I had my camera and I'd be late at the campus, developing film and just checking things out. And I heard these drums and I just followed the sound and there were all these dancers. It was amazing and live drummers. So I signed up and I just loved that class. It was amazing. Aww. And I later took African dance in Chicago when I moved there. I did that for years. When I was in the Bay Area, I also in college started studying improv. The only reason I took an improv class is I wanted to be an actor, but the acting class was full and there was room in the improv class. I was like, well, I've heard that improv is really good for acting, so I'm going to take that. So I took that, fell in love with it. There was Bay Area Theater Sports was in San Francisco. I went to see a show there, fell in love with them, took their classes while I was in school, started performing with them, really got into it. And that became everything. At the same time, I was studying singing vocal technique in college. And this is my other, like, it's so tragic to me. I was going to get a backup tape in my key so that I could have a way to audition to become a singer. And I really wanted to do like torch songs and like jazz standards and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I paid somebody, and mind you, I was in college, paid my way through everything. Like I had no money, but I found money, paid a guy to transcribe all these tunes into my key, play them for me so that I had it on tape. I had that tape for maybe 2 days, maybe 1 day. And I had a show, an improv show in the city. My friend Kurt picked me up, and I was like, Kurt, this is so cool. I have this tape. Can I play it for you and sing along? And he was like, hell yes. So I put the tape in, I sing through the whole thing, and he's just like, this is amazing. This is so cool. We go in, do our improv show, come back. The window to his car is broken. And the only thing that's missing is my tape.
No.
And I don't have a copy. So what? I'm just like, that was all the money that I had. Like, I just was like... That
sounds like something that would have been in a movie where when it happened, you would be like, oh, come on, writer. You couldn't get more creative and come up with a more believable way that tape disappeared. Oh,
it's insane. God. And it just broke my heart. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a singer. But then even after that, like I got a job as a singing waitress.
That's awesome.
Like I auditioned for it during a shift, so it was an audience and all that. And it was really fun.
That's
but
amazing.
The manager was so awful that when he offered me the job, I told him to go fuck himself. He was
like,
terrible.
but thank you for letting me sing for everyone in the restaurant first.
Well, he was like, your audition is you'll shadow this waiter and sing a few tunes. Yeah. So I did. And he also shadowed that same waiter. He cursed him out, like for the whole shift. He followed him, and I'm shadowing him, so I'm watching the whole thing. And he's just yelling at him the whole time, like, you're a fuck up, you suck, you're terrible. Like, it was so bad. That's the reason that I dropped the F-bomb to him, because he just dropped F-bombs the whole time. I was like, this is terrible. And I told him, I will never work for you.
Yeah.
But that's like that. So that's like singing and improv was where I left off. And then I got, I met Sharna Halpern. Perhaps you've heard of her.
It rings a bell.
She had this national improv competition that came to San Francisco. I also met Noah Gregoropoulos. He came with her. So basically, the deal was you put together a team, they'll come and coach you, teach you the Herald, and then you'll compete. And it's a national tournament, so maybe you'll get to, make it into the playoffs. Yeah. We didn't make it into the playoffs, but met her, and she invited, of course, it was just a way for her to get students, but smart. She invited us, me and my friend, to come study improv with Dell. So I went to visit Chicago. I was like, I guess so. I'm in school, so in my mind, I was like, okay, I'll take a semester off, and a semester or two off, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, like a work study.
But I ended up getting stuck in Chicago. But then, it turned out great. So I did improv, and I acted, and I taught, and that's like the trajectory. But all started with ballet.
Aw,
that was a long-winded.
No, that was great. That was beautiful because there's I know who you are, and I know for the two people who are listening to us this evening, it's real hit or miss. Last week I did some music streams and we had a nice big group of people that were all chatting it up. We were having a great time, and I don't know, the weather's bad tonight, so everybody's sitting around a campfire or something. But we know it. So I took your improv class at the Annoyance, which was the first place that I like actually got to know you. But I'd obviously seen you perform around town plenty by that point. But I didn't really know your backstory. But it's interesting. I studied oboe in college and grad school, and I actually played professionally. And opera and ballet were like my favorite. Like my dream gig was play with the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. But then I realized that was just, I just wanted to live in New York, and I liked opera more than orchestra because it was theater. And really, I just wanted to be a performer, and I wanted to be on stage. But I was like, well, I'll never be on stage because I'm not a singer and I don't deserve to be an actor, but I can play under the stage. And then I hit, I know. But then I hit 23 and I finished school, and I took my first professional oboe audition. And I was living in Cincinnati at the time. I went to the Cincinnati Conservatory for grad school, and the audition was to play English horn with the Buffalo Philharmonic, which first of all would mean living in Buffalo, New York, as your just life, building your whole life there. And nothing against Buffalo, but when you're not from Buffalo, it's why would you do that? Why would somebody move to San Marcos, Texas just to build a big dream of a life? It's well, yeah, if your people are there, you should definitely be there. It's a great city. If your people aren't there, I don't know why you go there. But yeah, and this job would have paid $24,000 a year in 2008, which was not stellar. So you still would have to teach at summer music festivals and have private students. And I spent 6 months preparing for this audition, and then I had to drive myself from Cincinnati to Buffalo and then pay for a place to stay that night. And then I think my audition lasted maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And then they were like, thank you. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I just bought this English horn this year to start auditioning for gigs like this. And the English horn is $10,000 or something insane. I turned around and sold it right after that for pretty much, but it's just Jesus, what? And it I was forced for the first time to actually decide, do I want to do music, or why have I been doing music? And I realized with oboe, it's very easy to play the oboe very badly. So if you can play it well, they like you a lot and a lot of great opportunities fall in your lap. But there's a very big gap between good enough to be very competitive versus Metropolitan Opera good, and it's I didn't have the dedication to do that because I just didn't care. That was just never what I want. I just did it because I liked the community. I liked making music with people. I really do love music, but I didn't really care about oboe. I almost never play oboe anymore because it's what I really want to do is play the keyboard and sing, or play the guitar and sing, or play the ukulele and sing, and you can't sing with an oboe in your mouth. Yeah. So then I moved to Chicago. I wanted to be an actor, but Tina Fey was kind of my big role model because I think 30 Rock had just started, and it was oh my gosh, that's me. That's that quirky, dopey, but also just painfully confident despite her awkwardness. I was okay, what did she do? How did she get there? And it was okay, she did improv. She made her own roles. So I was great, I'll just go do that. And it took years of improv, and then watching myself. I wrote a 2-character scene that was in the Mary Scruggs Women's Festival sketch festival thing. And I played both parts. It was written to be played by one person. I played both parts. And I went back and I watched the video later, and I was I am a terrible actor. I'm so bad.
Your own worst judge.
Well, no, but I hadn't taken an improv, or I hadn't taken an acting class. I'd only taken improv, and I wasn't even very good at improv at that point because I was still just so conscious of every single little thing that came out of me that I was is this correct? Is this what my character should be thinking right now and saying right at my, and then you're oh, that moment's gone. Oh, we're in a whole other scene. Oh God, what's happening? Ugh. Yeah, but so finally took real acting classes, and then did writing classes, and did so it's I've built up the skill set, but I just skimmed so many different communities that I was never active enough to get a footing. The Annoyance was my favorite place ever, and it was such a monumental place for me in terms of turning me into who I am, but I was never even in a show there. I just did classes, and I interned off and on over 3 or 4 years but I never did a show because I was like, well, I don't want to do, like, I had one improv team, like one independent improv team that I really liked, and it was super chill and casual, and it would be like, hey, we have a show Saturday. If you're free, come and be in that show. And if you weren't, it was like, cool, we'll see you next time. Like, it was like, it was very relaxed, which was great, but it just, it was like the bar scene and the social aspect of it, just like, I struggled with that, and I always sort of felt a little bit on the outside. Like, when I was on stage, I was okay once I got the hang of improv anyway. But off stage, I always just kind of felt like, oh, I'm the behind the scenes person. I'm the intern that you can rely on to get to. But it was like, but I just always felt so, I didn't know what my in was, And
that's the secret is that's every improviser.
I know.
Every one of us is like, I'm great on stage, and then put me in the room afterwards, and unless I'm talking about the show I just did, I have nothing to say.
Yeah. So I don't know. So it was hard, and I think it didn't help. Like I improv was a big part of my like coming out journey, and just learning, like, the first improv class that I took, of realizing like, oh, why can't I be impulsive? Like, what is it that because I was always very conscious of like, I'm trying to not out myself. And I didn't know that meant like, because I'm gay and I don't want them to know that I'm gay. But it was like, what is it about myself that I'm afraid people are going to learn and not like? Like, what is, and like, so like digging into that and working my way through it. And then when I retook, I think it was actually the same. I think you and Rich were both teaching level 4. And then I came back years later and retook level 4 with your husband. And like, it was just so funny because I came in and like, I think you probably recognized me because I'd interned there a million years. Then he'd probably been like, oh, haven't you already done all that? Like, and the first day we like did our introductions around the class, and it was like, what's your name? Where are you from? What's something about you that's not improv related? And then like, what's your improv background? And I loved the annoyance because sometimes you got people who were like, I don't know, it just sounded fun, so here I am. And I was like telling, and I was like, I've actually done all of the improv programs in the whole city, including this one. And I just wanted to come back because I heard Rich's class was great. So I wanted to try it. And I said, I feel like I was going through some personal stuff before, and now I've kind of dealt with it. And I'm excited to see like how I do at improv now. Like if I can actually like just be more impulsive. And he was like, well, what do you mean you were dealing with stuff? Like, did you go through a divorce? Or like, he threw something out there. And I was like, well, I was kind of just dealing with the fact that I grew up gay and homophobic. And he was like, so you hated yourself? And I was like, I mean, basically, yeah. And then I don't know if it was the first class, but I very clearly remember being in class with him and like I'm a nice person, right? And that's my default, is like I play nice characters because I'm like, that feels very natural to me. And so he put me in a scene with this guy. I don't remember his name, but he's like, I doubt he weighs 100 pounds. He's easily 4 or 5 inches shorter than me. Just like, he was just so perfect. Like, he was very confident. He was hilarious. He was great. But he was also just really good at playing those characters who were like, I'm so sorry. And you're like, oh my God, he's breaking my heart. Like, you just want to give him a hug all the time. And Rich was like, okay, you two are going to be in a scene together. And Rebecca, you're going to initiate the scene with, what's up, faggot? And then you're just going to shit all over him the entire scene. And I was like, all right, let's do this. I was like, this is so far outside of my comfort zone, but it was really fun. I think it ended with me forcing him to pour his own coffee on himself or something. Like, what?
That's great. It's so funny. Like, in those classes, I feel like times when I've watched students make the most progress and I've made the most progress is when the teacher gives you permission to do the thing you're most afraid of. When they're like, here's what it is. I'm telling you, this is what you're going to do. Everybody in this room knows it. So there's no reason not to.
Yeah, we're not going to think you're a terrible person because you're doing the thing that the teacher forced you to do.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very freeing. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you from back then. And I mean, I guess I don't remember what year it was. I just feel like you've been in Chicago forever and I've known you forever. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, the time sort of disappears with within that community where it's like, oh, it was around the time that this thing was playing on the Second City main stage, or it's around the time that Swear Jar was playing, but it's like, I don't know when that was.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so funny. Yeah. I remember what was playing, like, when I got to Chicago in 1991, and
who was your main stage cast? Do you remember?
Well,
like
who
was
do.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, like, it's a little fuzzy because back then there was Maine, ETC, and there was the Northwest cast, and I'm not sure when I really started paying attention. People on the main stage were Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert, Amy Poehler, Fran Adams, Ruth Rudnick, and I remember ETC had like Zulovic, and oh God, I'm forgetting names. But it was pretty damned amazing.
Yeah.
Like I do remember sitting in the audience or sitting on the bench watching Carell and Colbert, and like I was in love with Amy. I just was like, oh, and oh Jesus, for Jackie Hoffman.
Oh,
I mean, truly the women. I just sat there with my jaw on the ground, like just was so amazed by them. And I had a friend who knew them, and he was Matt Dwyer. He was improvising too, and like he and I ended up doing a 2-person improv show together, like in '93 or something. But he knew them, so we were always like, we lived down by the theater, and we would walk around, and they'd be, crossing the street, and they'd say hi to Matt, and we'd stop and chat, and they'd introduce me, and I would just like try to shrink, and
yeah,
I just was so in awe of them. Yeah, that was amazing. And then when I went through the training center, I had great teachers. And I really my level 5 show was very important to me. And I was like, this has to be great. We need a great director. And so some of the other students were really into it too. And we were talking about who do we want to direct our show? And people were like, you don't get to choose that. I'm like, but we can ask. I don't know. I'm going to ask because this is important. I moved to Chicago for this.
Yeah.
So I need this to be successful. So we were we agreed that we loved Norm Hawley and Steve Carell the best as teachers. Uh-huh. And we were we couldn't even really choose one over the other. But Steve was on main stage at the time. And I don't remember how, but we were like, well, let's ask Steve first. So I asked him, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to. If I can, I'd love to. So Steve Carell directed our level 5 show, and he was amazing. He was so good at it.
Oh.
And he was just great and kind and wonderful. And yeah, it was a really great experience. That part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, just the whole world is so fraught with all kinds of stuff. But I really did enjoy much of my level 5.
Aw.
It was really fun.
Norm Hawley actually directed my level 5.
He's fantastic.
He's great. That was still very early on in my improv and performing arts life, and I was just so not at all comfortable in my own skin. So I didn't have a great experience for reasons that had nothing to do with him. But there was also I don't know what happened, but my class at Second City, there were 3 classes, and you did two levels, and then it was you re-auditioned to make sure that you made the cut going into the next round. And they cut some people, and then a bunch of other people just bailed. And so by the time we got to our graduation shows, instead of 3 full classes of 12 to 15 people each, there was 1 class with 10 people and 1 class with 8 people. And that was it. So yeah, it was very strange. But one guy in my class, just I mean, I wouldn't even name him if I could remember his name, but I can't because he was just one of those people that it's like, you're so unimportant and you're gonna disappear off the face of this earth and I'm never gonna see you again, and I kind of can't wait. So, you know, I never got overly dramatic about it, but he just, like, he hated me with a passion. Like, he just thought every idea that I brought to the table was dumb, despite the fact that every idea that he brought to the table, like, Michael Gelman was our teacher one level, and he came in with this idea about a sketch where he wanted to play the devil, and then this thing happens, and this thing happens. And it was, so they improvised it, and then Gelman was like, okay, well, so tell me about you, why did you want to play the devil? Like, what is it about the devil? Tell me more about this character, so maybe we can change the format of this sketch to fit better what it is. And he was like, I don't know, I just saw something like this on Saturday Night Live. And he was like, okay, wait, tell me more about that. What are you talking about? And he was like, well, there was this sketch on Saturday Night Live where the devil did exactly the thing that I pitched that I wanted to do in this sketch. And Gelman was like, oh, okay, so you just stole the idea straight off of something else. And he was like, yeah, well, I read that good artists steal. And Gelman was like, yeah, that's not what that means. Like, and so he's trying to explain it to him, like, this guy would just play on his phone through class, and then when the teacher would call him out, he'd be like, I'm taking notes. And it's like, I'm sitting behind you. I can see that you're not taking notes. Like, you were playing fucking Candy Crush. What are you talking about? So he was just a nightmare, but it was like I couldn't, every choice that I would make, like there was one edit that I made when we were just improvising once, and I was actually really proud of myself. It was like a perfectly timed edit. Like, it was one of the few edits where I was like, yes, I nailed it. Oh, I did it so right. And I kind of didn't have a choice because the scene had built to the point that everybody was in the sketch except for me. So I was like, oh, cool. All right. So either I'm going to have to join this or I'm going to have to edit. And so I was like watching, kind of like, am I joining? Am I editing? Nope, I'm editing. This is the edit. And I did like a sweep edit, but I did something. It was like they were cleaning. I don't know what it was, but I like got a broom and I like literally swept across, and I was like, it's a sweep edit. Like, you know, it was like, that was so dumb and cheesy, but it was perfect for whatever that scene was that was ending.
Right.
And like everybody like laughed. They were like, oh, that was a really fun scene. And we did it. We nailed it. And they all like ran off stage. And then I stayed up because it was like, okay, cool. I wasn't in the last scene, so I'll be in this scene. And that guy just goes, okay. And then he just stayed there and he kept playing the same character into the next scene. And I was like, what?
Oh, you know, it's always the loudest that is the stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I applaud myself for not getting caught up in his drama and recognizing that, like, this is just some dumb punk who just thinks, like, I'm going to take a class at Second City and then I'm going to be on TV. And it's like, no, you're not. Like, no. Like, and even if you are, I'm not going to be jealous of you. I'll never, like.
Yeah.
It was good times.
There's just, yeah. God,
there's one everywhere, right?
There is one everywhere. And I have to say, like, in terms of teaching, because there is, like, some level of one of those people in every class. and it's, like, it's okay, but you also, like, you want to, you have to address that stuff to some degree. More importantly, you have to protect everybody else from that. Yeah. I don't know. I just remember, like, the realization that I spent so much time, kind of, just too much time on the lowest common denominator in the class. I was like, this is not right.
Yeah.
The rest of the class is fine. Yeah. I just need to focus on them and, like, give that person the little, you know, enough to just keep them from hurting anybody or being too disruptive, you know? It's just such a crazy thing to try and balance.
Yeah. Well, and I think with acting classes and improv classes especially, like, there's such a fine line between, like, in my acting program, I would find myself, like, raising my hand to ask a question. And then I'd be like, no, actually, I think this is for my therapist. And it's like, yeah, this is not, you know, it's like, there's just so much, because it's like when you're just bringing yourself to the table and you're trying to figure out, like, the very, very fine line between what's just like a me issue versus what's how do I approach this to turn it into character? And it's like, oh, that's not something an acting teacher can help you with. Like, that's something. I don't know.
You know, I think it's, you know, a lot of people do know the difference, but I think it's a hard line to know sometimes. So kudos for you. I didn't always know it. Like, you know, I don't know. It's a tough one because because acting crosses those lines and improv crosses those lines. It's just it's challenging.
It's wild, but it's good though. I think everybody should take acting classes at some point, and everyone should take improv classes at some point, because I think improv especially just, it makes you more honest with yourself, and it helps you learn how to communicate yourself to other people. Like, when you can really be honest and react with whatever your instinct is within a moment in an improv scene, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. You learn about yourself, you learn where your instincts go, which helps you off stage, and then be like, my instinct was to be a real dick to that character. What's going on there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I also think, you know, when I watch improv, I watch people get to know themselves and each other better in a 5-minute scene than over the course of 10 years of friendship. Mm-hmm. Like, because I've taught in the corporate world, like, you watch people who've been like, well, this team has been together for 15 years. And then you have them do improv, and they can't believe how much better they know. Like, suddenly they're connected. I agree. Like,
that's awesome.
I fervently believe that it's vital. It's all the skills are vital skills.
Yep.
None of it is not important. It's all so important.
Yeah.
And thankfully, improv has paid off so well.
Like, financially, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Improv, I've spent my life doing improv, and it's really just paid me back tenfold.
Yeah, I mean, that's like right before you joined, I was talking about that. It's like, my big thing right now is figuring out, like, how do I pay my bills? Like, how do I find some sort of sustainable thing? And it's so frustrating, like, learning about other countries and the kind of, like, arts endowments that they have, where they're like, oh, we want people to be able to do art, so we're going to give you money to do it. It's like, oh, that sounds nice. Isn't that cool how they keep in mind how much art influences the entire world? So you want to make sure that, but it just feels like that's the struggle that kind of never ends unless you make it big. And even then, it's not, you know, like, I think when I moved to Chicago, I think some part of me was like, yeah, I'm going to do the Tina Fey trajectory, and I'll be on the main stage, and then I'll get Saturday Night Live, and then I'll get my own TV show. And I think within 2 weeks, I was like, oh, I'm never going to be on the main stage, and I'm not going to be on Saturday Night Live. And it wasn't because I didn't think I was good enough. It was just like, oh, I see the kind of lifestyle that comedy is, the, like, hanging out in bars a lot and spending time in bars a lot, and the, you know, where it was like, oh, this is kind of like classical music all over again, where I'm like, yeah, I like this, but I'm not sure that it's like a life that I'm ready to commit to. So I was fine with that, but just seeing how people, like, this another thing that I liked about the Annoyance is people went there because they wanted to become better improvisers. They didn't go there to get on the main stage. They didn't go there to get on a Herald team. And, you know, the classes that I took at Second City and IO, they were great, and I had some awesome teachers. But it was not uncommon at all to feel like, oh, okay, I feel like my scene partners aren't treating me well because they're trying to go for the joke because they think they're going to be on Saturday Night Live. And for me, it was like, well, even if you get on Saturday Night Live, then what? I mean, how many people get SNL and then lose it and then they're just right back in the same place? Like, so I was like, well, if I want to make film and television, I want to just start making film and television. But then that's a whole other beast where you're like, but how does that work?
Right. Yeah, that's why I liked Annoyance too. Like, I just felt like that was my home because people loved the art form and that was what was important. And they, you know, it was great to teach there. Like, I taught at Second City for years and eventually I just was like, this is not, I don't agree with so much of this. And once they, like, I always taught what I wanted. Like, I taught level 1, level 2, level 2A, level 3. Then I jumped over to A, B, C, D. And I just was like, they wanted to, like, say, actually, we want this curriculum. We want you to teach this. And I was like, you want me to teach games in level C? No. But Annoyance is like, Nick always said, you can teach whatever you want, which was great because then you put your whole self into it and it just changed everything. And like you were saying about the kinds of students you get at Annoyance, it was great. You would get so many, like, people who were really serious about the art form or people who were really serious about their other life and they were doing this for fun, like, and everything in between. And I loved that it could be like, it wasn't goal oriented, even though the goal was always do this as best as you can. You know, but
it's doing it the best you can just for the sake of getting the most personal satisfaction out of it, of letting it do the most in return for you, as opposed to, I want to be the best, so I get on the main stage and then I get SNL and then I get my own TV show and and it was cool to see, like, what people did with it because so many people didn't even care about, like, being on an improv team, but they were like, I'm a writer and I want to use this to write, or I work with children and I can see how this is going to help me be better at that, or I'm a visual artist and this will help me. So, like, all these different kinds of artists were using this improv skill set. I just really dug that. That's one of the things that I definitely want to do at some point. I want to make films that use improv, but that use re-improvisation to actually write a set script. So, like, doing that in a rehearsal space and then take that script and go out and plan it and shoot it and have that nice polished look to it. But it's like, you know, that feels like the impossible thing where it's like, well, I'm not going to ask people to come and do all this extra work and not get paid for it or not get whatever for it. But I don't have a budget. I don't know how you make, you know, so it's like, it suddenly feels like it's this massive undertaking where you're like, oh God, where does one even begin? And it's like, I'll do it later. And then it's like, oh God, that was 10 years ago I had that idea. What happened?
There is a filmmaker who does that, and I love his work, and all of a sudden I can't remember his
Are you thinking
name.
Joe Swanberg?
No, Mike Lee.
Wait, no, I think that I've looked into him. I didn't know. He re-improvises to create scripts?
He uses improv to create the scripts. So I don't know what his process is exactly, but he typically he has like a group of actors that he really likes to work with. And I think he gets like an idea and he works with them and creates it that way so that when, you know, I mean, I don't know what his specific process is, but it starts with improv and it really is based in improv.
Yeah.
And he makes beautiful, beautiful movies that are like, honestly, those are the movies I want to be in. Like if I could work with Mike Lee, that would just be
life goals.
Incredible.
What movie should I start with if I don't know many of his movies? What's like your go-to?
I'm gonna have to look them up. The last one I saw was called Another Year, and I loved it. I also like. I'm not a fan. I can enjoy, but my go-to is not blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
So his movies are like quiet about people and relationships, and they're wonderful. And he uses real people. Like he's not. Okay, so let me see.
Yes, please.
I feel like one of. All right. I'll just go for. I was looking for IMDb, but I couldn't find it because I couldn't remember the initials IMDb.
It happened. I found Oh yes. What you got?
So Secrets and Lies is one of them, and Life is Sweet. Life is Sweet made me laugh like crazy. It's just it's amazing.
Nice.
It's like, Secrets and Lies and Life is Sweet were especially great. He also did Topsy Turvy, the Gilbert and Sullivan thing. He did Vera Drake.
Oh, I know that I've
with
heard
Imelda
of that one,
Staunton.
Okay, wait, hang on. I'm starting an email to myself, okay. All right.
Secrets and Lies and Life is Sweet, I think, are like two great ones to start with.
Okay. All right. Are they best? First, Mike Lee, right?
Mike Lee, Leigh.
Oh, okay. I have
and it's all,
definitely
they're
looked
British.
into him, and I don't know why I haven't actually gone back. Like, because, Joe Swanberg is always the one that people mention first. And I do like Joe Swanberg, but his stuff is really just like sit down and have a cup of coffee, throw a bunch of ideas around, and then he goes home and he writes out like a detailed outline where it's like, oh, okay, in this scene, this is what needs to happen. But then the actors just fully improvise it. And then the editor just makes whatever cuts are necessary. And like, that's fine. I would definitely not be opposed. Like, there are some things where I think that would work great. Like, my mom has a great place out in the country where I could house a 4-person cast and like a 2 or 3 person crew, and we could shoot at her place and just make a whole movie in like 3 to 5 days or something about like a weekend vacation or something, I'm like, cool,
right.
That would be perfect to be like, great. Here's the outline. You have this many minutes to get this accomplished in this scene. And if I'm working with like improvisers like you who are just like, great, got this, tell me when. It's like, cool, that would be an easy way to do it. But I love the idea of like being able to rework scenes and really like dive into it and get it exactly right. And then if they're like, oh, okay, I know I said this when we were together and that's what went into like the script, but I had this other idea that is so much better and that makes so much more sense, then it's like, great, then we can swap it out, and then day of we have like a nice together finished thing. Like that
is really cool. It is. And it sounds like, that way of working is less intensive. I've heard that Mike Lee's process is really intense. But I'm talking out of my ass. I don't honestly know how either of them work or what it's like to work with them. Yeah. Although I'd love to work with him. Isn't he like the mumblecore guy?
His stuff is generally labeled mumblecore, but he does like Easy on Netflix is his, Drinking Buddies is his. And I met Kate Micucci. She did a couple episodes of Easy, and I was talking to her about that because I was like, I want to make films that use improv, but I love the idea of doing it the way that he did it, but I also, so I was like, tell me more about that. What was that like? And she was like, no, he didn't, like, we didn't really, there was no re-improvising. We just improvised it, and then they trimmed stuff down in editing. But she was like, yeah, but it's weird. So like we wrote the entire script, but we didn't get any writer's credits. And she was like, which that was kind of annoying, but whatever, it's fine. And I was like, yeah, but I think I know why that is. And I actually, I reached out to the WGA because I was like, I don't even know what the answer to this would be. Where if like you're in my film and you're also in the WGA, can I even credit you as a writer, or then do I have to pay you the WGA fee? And I would have to pay you the WGA fee. So it's like your actor contract could say that you will improvise lines, or even that you will re-improvise lines in rehearsal, and then I will turn that into the script, but I am the only writer. I could maybe credit you as like dialogue by. But yeah, but it's just a WGA thing.
I think it's a really messed up part, like the unions haven't caught up to the art form, because improvisers are writers, and that they're not getting paid double for acting and for writing, to me, is absolutely insane and shameful. Like it is an extra skill, and that it's like devalued is so infuriating to me.
Yeah. No, Rebecca Bloom was Rebecca Bloom. I called her Rebecca because her character's name is Rebecca in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Rachel Bloom was on Script Notes recently, and she was talking about television shows that have music. They will reach out to 50 different singer-songwriters, and they'll say, hey, so this is the project we're working on. As your audition, we need you to write the song that would fill this moment, and you need to produce a quality track of it, and we're not going to pay you for any of that. And we might not even use it. This is literally just an audition, but because you're not writing anything down and sending them a piece of paper with words written down on it, you're just sending them the recording, it doesn't count as writing. Like, that's WGA is just, are you writing it? Are you putting pen to paper? Like, if you're a writer's assistant, you should not be putting pen to paper. If you're putting pen to paper, then you are a writer and you are no longer an assistant and you need to be paid correctly. But like my struggle is like, I would absolutely want to credit people as writers, but like the movie that I would like to make at my mom's place, I would be making that for well under $10,000. Like, I could probably make that for like $2,000 realistically, but not if I have to pay WGA fees. You know, so that's where it becomes tricky to me, where it's like, okay, well, I know people who have jobs as writers but would prefer to get some acting work, and so they would be excited to take this like no budget acting thing, because it's like, well, we don't care, we're gonna have fun, go spend a weekend on vacation basically and act. Cool, I'm in. But then it's like, oh, okay, but my $3,000 movie turned into a $75,000 movie because I have to pay one person as a writer. So it's like, oh.
I know, it's so tricky, and especially when it gets into the low budget, no budget stuff. Like, I mean, we're all, you know, I've been producing all of my own stuff for close to 30 years now. Like, that's just the way it is. And I will happily appear in somebody else's passion project, knowing like, like we're all helping each other out, and hopefully somebody is going to make it to the next level and get paid for real. Because that's all we're trying to make art and get paid for it.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Rich and I made a dumb video. I do have to run. But Rich and I made a dumb video, and I was like, oh, maybe we need to reshoot it, because now I think it could be better. And then part of me is like, oh my God, it's pandemic good enough. Like, it's just put it out there. It's so fine. You might be seeing a little dumb video show up on social media, and if I get the balls to do it,
I'll post it in my Discord. So Hassani is a dear friend of mine who has helped me a lot with like live streaming and computer stuff, and he's my moderator in the chat, which tonight the chat is very quiet. We've got some people watching, but nobody's talking very much. I think they're just listening intently to our beautiful conversation.
Can you tell who's watching? Like, is it anybody I would know? It's
probably not.
Is it Tetris people?
It's like it's not even people I know. It's people who have come across my YouTube channel, and I've gotten to know them strictly through just like the virtual. I mean, even Hassani, like he found my YouTube channel and commented on it. But like, I was like, I'm having this problem in this vlog, and he was like, oh, I'm an IT guy, I could help you with that sometime. And I was like, okay. And then we spent like 3 hours on a call trying to fix my computer. And I was like, I adore you. Can we be friends? And now he's one of my favorite humans.
That's really nice.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I am also streaming to Facebook, but Facebook just kind of buries everything that I make these days.
I still don't understand the Facebook live streaming. Like, I happen upon something, I'm like, is this live? I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's weird.
I'm not very technologically. I do enough to like do what I need to do, but
yeah. No, I'm in the same boat, and I'm like, I'm getting the hang of Twitch, and I'm enjoying it, and it's really fun, particularly when people are engaged and they're like doing stuff with you. And what I'm loving is like, I was talking about this before you came on, but like that it feels much more low pressure. Like, it's kind of like doing an improv show where you're like, I don't know, we're just gonna have some fun. It's gonna be cool. I don't have to like rehearse this thing or make it perfect. Like, I did 2 music live streams last week, and I didn't pick any songs ahead of time. I didn't review anything. I didn't practice anything. I just like turned on the camera and I was like, hey, all right, I'm going to flip through this book and I'm going to tell you about what a fake book is versus a chord sheet. And I'm going to just like find songs, and some of them are going to sound real bad because I haven't played them in forever. And then other ones are going to be like, oh, I used to play this all the time, so it actually sounds okay.
oh,
so it's fun, but it's, figuring it out. Hassani, F it. We're doing it live. That was Hassani's comment. Yeah, I wanted to play music the other day, and I was just like, you know what? Why not? I'm going to just throw together a live stream, and I'm just going to put it on the internet and see what happened. And it was super fun. So,
yeah, it is fun. I feel like it is just such a different world because it's really much more about just connecting on some level.
Yeah, which I'm loving. It's just hard to figure out like how to make that happen. Yay! It's great when it does happen and you're like, oh, we're connecting. And then when it doesn't happen, you're like, what am I doing wrong?
I know. And it feels like, I think when it doesn't work, it feels doubly bad to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the first online improv I did like early in the pandemic made me feel worse because I was like, this is just highlighting
what I'm missing. Yeah,
not near a human I am.
100%. Yeah, there are a lot of bots that you can add to your stream account. So if you're just streaming to nobody, that it will like drop chats and do things so that it, if nothing else, it's like creating some sort of engagement. I don't know. I assume it helps with like the algorithm or something, but yeah, I don't know.
That sounds creepy.
It's wild, but it's, I think we'll get there.
This is a fun thing.
Yeah, thank you. That's my goal. Like, I really want, like, I've got the classes that I want to start teaching, and I want to figure out how to help theater people transition to a virtual platform and make it work and make it something where it's like, great, these audiences that are already here online who would be interested in the content, that it's in a format that makes sense and is familiar to them, but that also works for improvisers and theater people. So, it's not an overnight process, but it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like, I don't really have the bandwidth to check it out, but so many of our friends are doing so many things online that I'm sure, like, if you were like, this week, I'm going to watch as many as I can. I'm sure there'd be a lot of similarities, but I bet some people have like, oh, we figured out this one thing, or we figured out this other thing.
Yeah.
It could be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've got some ideas in the works, and got a couple of friends who are trying to get like an art school online up and running. So hopefully that helps kind of motivate me to get my butt in gear and start making things happen instead of thinking about it a lot and talking about it a lot and then watching movies.
Yes,
Find the balance. Cool.
Well, it's really great to see you. Now I know what that game is, and now I forgot what it is. Tetris. I was going to say Tempest.
I'm okay with that.
And I did notice how good you are at it and how mesmerizing it is. Like, it's very meditative.
It's fun. It's like, theoretically, for me, it's like it's trance inducing. And so for me, it makes conversation much freer where I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about whatever. Instead of like, oh, you're looking at me and then this is weird. I don't know. I don't want to find what, that it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm. But Deanna came on and she was like, this is so stressful to me. Everything about this game is stressing me out and I feel really nervous right now. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant. Oops.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah. I mean, it's not for everybody.
I
will say it's weird at first, but it so quickly to me just becomes white noise. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's perfect. I love white noise.
It is. It's perfect.
All right.
Well, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for having me on your Tetris chat.
Absolutely. Send me a link when you get your video posted with you and Rich, and I'll put it in my Discord, which is a thing I don't really understand yet, but people can see things I post there. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks. I will. I just have to decide. It's so funny because one of the major thoughts I've been having is like I create a ton of stuff, but I only let the tiniest amount out into the world. I was like, oh, I have to let go of things. I have to put them out.
Yep.
So it feels a bit like, you know what? I didn't get an A on this project. I got a C, but just put it out there.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a common struggle for people who come through like studying the arts and really trying to practice the arts and try, where it's like we don't get to see Steven Spielberg's crappy student films because he didn't have, until it was great, he couldn't put it out there in the world. But now it's like, oh, the internet is just an improv stage where you can be like, what about this thing? Do you like this? No? Great. All right. Don't worry about it. What about this thing? Do you like this thing? And it's like, if it's terrible, people aren't going to see it. So it doesn't matter unless it's so bad that people want to watch it. But then that's a success in its own way, like.
Absolutely.
I never, when my Looper covers went viral, I was like, I don't know if they're going viral because people think they're good or they are just laughing at them, but I kind of don't care. Like either way, that's a win because I don't even know what I think. Like I know that they are good. I can say like without any judgment, they are good. Whether they're enjoyable or they're more of a joke, it depends on the day for me. But
right, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I'm having fun. If you like them, go for it. If you don't worry about it. Move on to the next thing. But yes, I'm in favor of you posting more of your things and putting more of your things out there in the world because the things I've seen from you are brilliant and wonderful, and I have personally enjoyed them. So,
thank you. I enjoy making them.
Good. It's a good combination.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And let's see. Oh, it's 2 hours later there. Yeah.
Yes.
So
8:52.
It's almost 7 here. It's almost 9.
Yep.
Over there.
I don't know how much longer I'll last. We'll see.
Personally.
I know. I'm ready for a movie. I'm going to see if I can find one of your movies.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Enjoy Mike Lee.
Hassani said thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Hassani. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
You're only a name out in the world.
Yeah. That's how he likes to be.
Bye.
Bye. Oh. Yay. Oh, I love Rebecca Sohn. Master Ranch. Hello. Just like real life connections. Oh, that was wonderful. I really do adore Rebecca, and I just think the most of her, is that an expression? I think very highly of her. That's probably the more accurate expression. She wrote a screenplay, and I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's lovely, and she did a reading of it recently, and I got to listen in on it, and I was just so excited, and I am looking forward to that movie actually happening. I don't know when that will happen because movies take 17,000 years to get made, but I have faith. I didn't end up talking to her about the thing that I wanted to talk about tonight because everything else we were talking about was just so lovely. I didn't want to bring the mood down. Who's even here? What am I doing? I should pay attention to this game. Hold on. We're up really high. Not in score, though. Okay, this is, there's no way I can recover from this. Oh, whoops. Okay, hold on. I need to hydrate. It didn't switch. Sorry, I didn't switch it, but I don't know why it didn't switch when you pushed that, Hassani. Thank you. So this thing, I'm not even entirely sure what it is. What happens if I put it all the way up to the lens? Is it going to be wild? Ooh. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is from the inside of the headlight. Oh, God. Caught it. Of my car. Hassani, I don't even know if anybody else is here, but I'm going to tell you about it. I totaled my brother-in-law's car on Friday. And I'm not laughing because I think anything at all about that is funny. In fact, I'm still pretty upset and a little bit shaken up and crazy. I just think it's ridiculous that I've never been in a car accident in my life. And I got in my first accident in the middle of a pandemic by hitting an 18-wheeler in someone else's car, specifically my brother-in-law's car, which is like, you know, I mean, we have a good relationship, so it's not like it's what I think it would be normally with crashing a brother-in-law's car. Yeah, I am okay, if you haven't figured that out after multiple hours of me sitting here playing Tetris. I am okay. My knuckles got real, like, you can see that. Those 3 knuckles are real bruised and jacked up. That's pretty much the extent of my damage. Well, that's not true. That is bruised, and then there's a bruise right here because I think, so I was coming around a 90-degree turn, and I wish that I could say I was like, oh, I was texting. That's dumb. I'll never text again while I'm driving, and then I won't get in car accidents. There was nothing. There was nothing happening that I can point to and be like, oh, that was dumb. I don't know. I think maybe I looked at the map on my phone and then looked up, and then it was like, wow, this turn is way sharper than I expected. It was like literally a 90-degree turn. Yes, no, that counts for everything coming out of it physically well. So yeah, but just was like, oh my God, this is a 90-degree turn, and there's a truck coming the opposite direction, and there's no way that I could possibly miss it. And so I like turned as sharply as I could, and I think that my hand was like this. Like I think I was in the process of turning, and then the airbag went off and popped it back because there's like a little mark here, and then it would have gone like this into the window of my car, and then that would have hit the door frame. So I think that's what that's from. My nose, like I definitely felt the airbag hit it, and like my nose was a little tender after, and then it started to feel better, and then today it actually hurts more, like up closer to the bridge. I don't know, but it's not broken. These are not broken. It looked like, this is so gross. This ring finger looked like there was an entire edamame bean underneath my skin, like immediately after it happened. It was so swollen. And I like jumped out of the car as soon as it happened, and I was like patting myself down like, am I okay? Am I alive? What's happening? And I was like, okay, I don't think that I'm injured as far as I can tell. And then I saw my hand, and I was like, no, because it looked like these 3 fingers were absolutely definitely broken. And so I like give him a little wiggle, and I was like, no, that's okay. And then I like pressed down on each finger pad, and that was fine. And I was like, how did I get that ridiculously lucky? So yeah, this is here. Wait, this is my vehicle. Was my vehicle. Where's my video? That's sad. I hate it. Yeah. So that was terrible. I know. But then the people around were great. The woman behind the truck jumped out and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And then she was like, "Are you okay?" And the truck driver was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He was like, I'm in an 18-wheeler. And then he called 911 and they were like, do you need an ambulance? Do you need a fire truck? And he was like, she crashed into an 18-wheeler. Send everybody. And I was like, thank you. And they sent everybody. And then the fire truck didn't, they felt up my back and they took my pulse and my blood pressure and then my pulse ox, my oxidant, the little like, bloop, clip it on your finger thing. Yeah. And then the ambulance got there right after the fire department finished checking me out. And then the ambulance checked me out too. I went through 3 ice packs for my fingers and then I don't actually have a visible bruise, I don't think, but I definitely am still tender where that was. Got a bruise on my knee. But I just got so stupidly, insanely lucky. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the whole story. It sounds real boring now. I wrote 8 pages in my journal about it this morning. Normally, lately, I haven't been able to focus to get through a journal, and at best, I'll get like 3 or like a page and a half is like a normal journal length for me. And then this morning, without any pauses or delays, I just poured out 8 pages of journaling because that will make you crazy. I don't recommend it. Car accidents, not fun. Very scary, especially if you have anxiety around illness and death and just scary things in general. In more uplifting Tetris news, who sent me? Jeff Brister, I think. I believe it was Jeff. Tweeted me a video about Tetris and how people manage to beat this crazy high level. Not this one that I'm playing right now, but a different setup, a B version of the game. And I learned that if you are holding the button down before the piece starts to move, it will immediately start moving, so I can move pieces faster, and I can already tell a difference in my game. See, like that did it. See how they move immediately as soon as it starts? Usually there's that teeny little pause. And now there's not. So that's exciting. That should help my gameplay. Been playing well today. Really wanted to break that record, but starting to feel like maybe it's not today. It's not this game. Oops. Okay, wait. What's happening over here? Randomly stumbled on your stream because of Tetris. Glad you're okay. Oh, thank you, Master Ranch. Yeah. No, I play Tetris on Mondays. Sometimes I have a guest, like I did tonight. I don't know if I properly introduced her, but Rebecca Sohn is an actor and an improviser and a writer and a dancer and a teacher. And she's just really good people. She's the kind of good people that I think most really good teachers are good people. Like the good teachers are able to see the best in others and like bring that out in them and make those people see the best in themselves. And I think that's a great way to be. Master Ranch, if you like Tetris and music, you should follow me here. I play Tetris every Monday, and then I'm going to figure out my official schedule soon. But I do music stuff. I just kind of stream. Well, I mean, it's evolving. I've only done it a few times, so I don't know what it is yet. It's still deciding what it wants to be. Yeah. I play lots of instruments, but last time I played mostly keyboard and a little bit of guitar and play a little bit of all kinds of music. I did Counting Crows. I did some Brazilian music on request. I can't always just do random international music on request. In fact, that is extremely rare. But I happen to know one Brazilian song. So I played it. And that's my story. I'm in Texas currently. I lived in New York before the pandemic and during the pandemic, and I would like to get back there, I think. But it is very difficult to live in New York City. So we'll see. At least when you're not rich, it's very difficult to live in New York City. And also, I happen to be a really good safe driver. But not last Friday, apparently. My mom was surprised to learn that was my first ever accident. And then everybody that I've talked to since then is like, oh, the one time that I totaled my car. And I'm like, what? How did you not just talk about that all the time for the rest of your life? That's kind of where my head's at, is like, I'm probably going to be talking about this forever. So look forward to more Tetris and talking about car accidents. Maybe instead of, oh, come on. Instead of calling games like that last move train wrecks, I'll start calling them car wrecks. You know, customize the saying for myself. Why not? I did get 2 phone calls today, though. That was exciting. I mean, in the stream tonight, not like during the day. I did get 1 call today. No, I got 2 calls. My phone, I could just like drop it in a ditch for like 40 hours at a time. And I think my life would probably be better for it. Yeah. One of the calls was from insurance. My brother-in-law updated me on what the insurance people said. I have to go and say goodbye to the car tomorrow. I don't know why when I cleared my stuff out of it before they towed it away, I was like, oh, I just need to clear out my valuables before they take it to a shop to get fixed. It didn't occur to me that maybe I would never see the car again. So now I have to drive out to very close to where my accident was to take the rest of the things out of the car. It wasn't like, oh, what the heck? It wasn't like a ton of but like, you know, my phone charger and a thing of hand sanitizer and just the little things that make it feel like your car. For what it's worth, the 2011 Nissan Maxima drives pretty nicely. It's a good car. And if you crash it into an 18-wheeler, it will, at least at a slow speed, it will save your life. So that's good. 10 out of 10 recommendation. Hey, thank you for the follow, Master Ranch. What does Master Ranch mean? Is that, I assume ranch dressing, but that's because I really like ranch dressing. I say that, I don't even have ranch dressing. I do like it a lot though. Why don't I have ranch dressing? That's obnoxious. If you like something, you should make sure that you have it. Oh, man. I was not prepared to level up yet. Whee. Okay. You gotta go. Yes! Hassani, good luck tomorrow. I'm gonna text you and check on you. What time is your thing tomorrow? What time? Your time. Eastern time. Also, just for the record, though, you should be sanitary all days. Just so we're clear. Noon your time. Okay, great. I will be getting ready to leave to go say goodbye to my car, so. You try. Well, it's all we can hope for. All right. Well, thank you, Hassani. I appreciate you. Get some rest tonight. Get showered tonight. And I'll text you tomorrow and see how you're doing. I'm gonna play. Good night. Love you. I'm gonna play like maybe one more round and see if I can get over this 327 thing. Oh wait, Hassani, if you're still there, what do I type? I type an exclamation point and then new something. How do I change my high score? I don't know if you're still there or not. It's okay. I'll just write it down if I get a high score. I'll be like, can you add this next time? All right. Entirely know what's going on here, but this is an absurd looking round so far. I mean, one Tetris, that's great, but I really did not set myself up to do well with the rest of this. All right, that's better. Better. Just laughing, thinking about my niece freaking out. I was just teaching her how to play this. And I was just telling her, like, okay, now push this button twice. Okay, and then push over until it's over here. And I was just, like, literally walking her through where to put each piece so she could see how it works and get the hang of it. And then at one point, she just goes, if you want it done your way, just do it yourself. I was like, you can put it wherever you want. I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to help you. I'm showing you how it works when you do it the right way. And she was just like, she didn't say anything after that. But man, that girl has passion. I let her do it all by herself after that because I'm all for independence, you know? And she didn't get any more lines after that, and that's okay. I don't think she had fun either, which is less okay, but not everything can be fun all the time, okay? I don't know why I put that there. That was not a very good idea. I need 2 lines in a row. Never mind. Hey, Nikki's here. You missed my guest. And also I totaled my car. Not during the live stream, but on Friday. So you didn't really miss anything. Nothing new. Totally boring. It's been a very quiet night, Nikki. I don't know where you and everybody else have been, but the chat has been very chill, but not in like a fun way. It's just been so quiet. I'm just here playing Tetris all by myself, but I'm putting it on the internet, which makes it weird. Oh, man. Jay Steele! I'm still waiting to hear those magic words. What magic words? I don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna have to inform me. I'll probably know after you say it. I'll be like, oh yeah, that. But as of right now, I have no idea what you're talking about. Ooh, that is not what I thought that was gonna look like. Sometimes your peripheral vision screws you up. And then that was just an accident. That was just me messing up. What are the magic words? Smash that like button? Are those the magic words? Hey guys, make sure to sub and don't forget to smash that like button. Look, if you want to smash a like button, I'll leave that up to you. I don't need my like button to be smashed to be happy in life. What was that? That was weird. Oh, we were talking about Mad About You recently, and I totally forgot that they had made a new season of it. So I started watching that, and it is just delightful. Scratched the itch for wanting to watch some old shows, but with new themes and stories and characters, and that was wonderful. And the other thing you missed, Nikki, is that I've learned that you can, you can start moving the pieces faster. Hey, Jay Steele, you already told me. What do you mean you already told me? Thank you for following, Jay Steele. Don't you usually follow on YouTube? Is that why? Oh, John! Bot chat sounds about my speed. Rebecca does a Blair Witch Project Redux at Mom's Farm. That sounds amazing. Thank you, John. Dinner party and having 2 people over talking. Oh. That's funny. Watching Twitch and YouTube at the same time and having people talk over each other. Yeah, but I've been watching XS on here. I don't know who/what XS is. Wait, but I don't know what the magic words are. Did you tell me today? Oh, chess. XS. That would be a really fun way to, if you were like a rapper named XS, like in excess, but you spelled it EXHESS or just XHESS. That's going to be my new rapper name. XS. In excess. But it's the letter N, the letter X, and then Hess. Am I over-explaining it enough? Have I made it painfully dull by going into too much detail yet? Because that was the goal. You can watch chess on live streams. That's kind of fun. I learned how to play chess in school. I was actually in a chess club. And I don't know what happened. I never really got good at it. I never liked it or disliked it. It was just kind of like, okay. I did own at least 1 or 2 chessboards. But I think I didn't know anyone else that knew how to play chess, so it's really hard to enjoy when you can only play against like a little computer game thingy that always just kicks your ass. What's happening? Chess. Oops. Yes. X. Yes. You've played since school. Oh, nice. Yeah. Maybe that's something I should try again someday. How do people stream chess? I guess you just play a virtual game and you could just do a screen capture like you would any other game. I don't know why I asked. That was dumb. I asked and then immediately explained how you could do it. Some people, jeez. I don't know where my brain wanted to... Okay, never mind. A boy? What's a boy? A boy. I bet him $5 I would beat him before the end of the year. I read a bunch of books, beat him on the last day. Nice! That feels very Queen's Gambit. I want the 2 people who may... Oh, what a loser. He didn't pay up. I want the people who made Pen 15 to turn your story into a new Queen's Gambit, but middle school and very low stakes. And I think it would be amazing. I would watch the crap out of that. Oops, I started on 5 and not 15. I'm going to start over. My bad. I am getting hungry. And it's late. So I'm going to try like 1 or 2. You'll write, go for it. You should write a book about it. You're going to need a lot of quirky characters on the side. At least a couple of band nerds. Because, I mean, you know, there's some good overlap there between chess nerds and band nerds, I think. Or at least there's plenty of opportunity to create some overlap. Yeah. Who would play you in a middle school remake of your life? That question just kind of goes out to anybody. And it doesn't have to actually be a child actor, because I don't know that I could name very many child actors. I think most days Tina Fey could play me at any stage in my life probably pretty well. I don't know. Who would play me? I can't even answer my own question. I threw out this fun question for us all to answer, and then I was like, this question's too hard. And sometimes that happens. No! I over-rotated. Now the question is, can I dig myself out of this without creating a significantly worse ditch? And so far, not looking great. Okay, there we go. That's not terrible. Now I'm gonna ruin it. Okay. Come on, baby. There we go. I think I just need to play a lot more B-style Tetris to get myself better at digging out of these holes. Because, see, now this is going to take me most of the time I have left in level 15 to get out of this. I should have just put it there. Oh, well. Oh, just keep making it worse. No, that was not on purpose. Oh, this round was going so well. Nope. Oh, crap. Oh. The guy that played Joffrey. That's amazing. I was in band from 4th grade until 9th grade, then stopped because I realized, OMG, am I one of the geeks? Nikki, what did you play? I hope you got over your fear of being seen as a geek. Actually, I felt like having to the band was school. Yeah. I was a band nerd until I was 23, so I was the head drum major. I sang in all of the choirs. I played in the band and the orchestra. Yeah, music was my entire life for a very long time. And now I hate it. Just kidding. I still love it, but now it's not necessarily a thing I feel the need to make my career. I love the idea of recording a jazz album someday. That would be awesome. But, you know. I just don't know about pursuing it full time with all of my heart and soul. Heart and soul, I fell in love with you, all my soul. I don't know. I don't remember the words to that song. There are words to it, though. It's a real song. Not just the thing people play on piano. Aw. Oh, that was wrong. Don't. And if I don't get a line soon, that might have screwed me. Yep. Yep. Wow, where? Oh, now there's a line. 19 L's, but only 8 lines. Flute! Of course you played the flute. I feel like a Nikki would be a flute player. It is funny to me how much you can tell what instrument people played by a personality or even just a name. If you're a lady named Nikki, my guess would have been flute or like trumpet. But I don't know your like in-person personality, so it's hard to say. Would have been harder to guess, but you know. Oh, John gave me $20 on YouTube. Thank you, John. That's exciting. I don't get tips on YouTube. That's fun. John, having two people talking over each other at a dinner party. Oh, I love it. But you didn't know. Well, I didn't know. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, snap. No, I made my next piece disappear. Okay, well, I only had 4 lines. It's okay. If you push select, it stops showing you what piece comes next. And I accidentally hit select instead of hitting start. Also, oh, well, it went away now. It's okay. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I played oboe, which makes perfect sense if you know oboe players. I think oboe is one of the hardest to pin down because there's not like a specific type that comes with oboe, but we're all just like a little weird. We all march to the beat of different drums from even each other, but we get along well in our strangeness. I don't know if that means anything to the folks watching, but that is a pretty accurate description of us. It's quiet in here, but that's okay. I need to get more Tetrises if I want this to be a high-scoring game. I just keep making these holes. I don't want this game anymore. I don't want it. I just don't want it anymore. All right, what time is it? 9:30. I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it one more try. Are there things we want to see on the screen? I think I'm going to get rid of this little cup thingy. It just looks sad to have like a random cup. It was fun when it was the Santa and like little things would fall down and land in the Santa's thing. And I don't think that it's connected properly to my YouTube. I'm not convinced. Did it do anything, John, when you tipped? Thank you again for the tip, by the way. It should have said like, John, tip $20. And then a little thing fell from the top and then went pew, pew, pew in the glass and looked all cool and stuff. I don't know. I think I'm going to get rid of the glass and just have a thing where it just pops up and it's like, thanks for the tip. Thanks for the follow. That kind of thing. All right, let's do this. A little bit of quiet, focused time while I attempt to not completely screw this up this time. We'll see. Oh, I've been watching Schitt's Creek also, finally. I started it a long time ago, but I just didn't make it very far. I think I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes and then just kind of fizzled out for whatever reason. And then I came back to it and I'm into it. I literally think I watched more than a season yesterday, like a season plus some more. And I'm a fan officially. Oh my gosh, all these dumb single lines. Ugh. And then I don't know what to do. I'm really bad at planning for these S's. They just tank me every time. Not where I was trying to go with that. All right, we're starting over. Just kidding. My throat is tight. Okay. I want to at least break my top score for tonight. If I could break my all-time top score, that would be awesome also. But it's not the end of the world. My top score, I have to get like 376,000 to break my all-time record. And earlier tonight, I hit 327, which is pretty great. But it's not a personal best. And now I don't know what's happening anymore. Disappointing. Okay. Okay. Tetris. Really trying to not fill in that hole. Tetris. I kind of don't have a choice though. Tetris. That last one wasn't a Tetris. I don't know why I said Tetris. Sometimes you're just so excited about the game you're playing, you just want to say the name of it over and over. All right. Now, get your act together, Marquardt. That's my last name, by the way. Come on, Jesus. Why does it have to give me only the pieces that I can't play all back to back? Again, I need to be playing more B level. Okay. Tetris, and then I'm gonna build up and get another Tetris. Ugh, but now I've created a spot where I can only use a line. That is not smart strategy. What if I do this weird move? I don't know how I feel about this. No! Why? Why am I bad at Tetris? But also not bad. It's so frustrating. I would like to be more consistent. Really? I don't know what that one was. Sometimes you just have to put the piece down and you're like, I don't know. And then it just goes wherever it wants. And by wherever it wants, I mean wherever you put it, even though you're not really thinking about where it's going to go. You're just like, there, then now it's down. Don't we love this commentary? Oh yeah, we were going to do commentary. That was the whole bit. I had invited her to join me so we could do some fun, dumb characters doing commentary. And then that didn't happen at all. That's okay. It was quiet in the chat, so it felt weird to be like, let's provide commentary for the people watching, because that'll be funny. But the people watching were all very quiet. So then it didn't feel like it would be funny. It would feel like we were performing for no one. So instead, we just had a nice conversation that hopefully was also interesting to watch, but that felt more natural. You know? Oh, we've leveled up, and now I have to start focusing because this is where my brain starts to go, no thanks, and play real bad. It's also tricky because I haven't figured out where I need to look. You know, like I'm still kind of learning because it's too fast to be able to move your eyes around. So you kind of just have to plant your eyes and approximately, that was a result of my eyes not looking at the right thing because I thought I was in one spot. Turned out I was not. No. 277. Well, I was 50 short of that, but that's okay. I would ask if you just doxed yourself. But you got your number right there. What does that mean to dox? It's a real question. I actually have no idea what that means. I've heard it. I'm familiar with it in the sense that I've heard it. But that's not terribly helpful. I don't know why it's never occurred to me to look at that before. Whatever context I've heard it in, it didn't feel important enough for me to need to know exactly what it meant, so I just didn't. Ooh, no. Okay, well. Oh, what? Oh, wow. That went into the wrong place because I thought it was down and I was on to the next piece. But that is one of the better recoveries I've ever had. Because I changed the placement of that next piece like at the very last split second and it actually went where I wanted it to go, which I was not expecting. Oh, and now I've set myself up for failure here because now I have to get a line right before I get another line. It's not going to happen. I don't know what that piece was. Boo. And now I'm stuck digging things out. Well, if you missed my conversation with Rebecca Sohn, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. It started around 35 minutes into the stream. And it was delightful. She talked about doing improv in Chicago back when, like, Stephen Colbert and Amy Poehler and Steve Carell. I mean, I'm sure his name is Stephen, but he goes by Steve, and Stephen Colbert goes by Steven, even though I think his family calls him Steve. He calls himself Lil Stevie Colbert in something. When you release people's info online. Oh, yeah, it's a Google Voice phone number, so it's not my personal. If you text that number, I don't think anything at all would happen. Yeah, I would not be super thrilled if my actual phone number were released into the world, but I don't imagine very much would happen. Maybe like 2 or 3 people would send me some random weird voicemail or texts or something. But it's the people who would just do that to any number that they got a hold of. Like, I've had people call in and it's like a voice recording of a bot. I've lost my words. Hassani has gone to bed and I've lost my words. Yeah, I don't know. That send you just like dirty messages just because. And I kind of figured that would happen. You know, you create a place where people can be heard and you're going to get some random weird stuff. But that's fine. I can handle it. Just trying to dig out of a hole. What are you all watching? Anybody watching anything good that I need to check out? Lately, I seem to be in, like, comfort show territory. Like, for a while, it was just all drama. And then another time, it was all apocalypse movies. And now I seem to just want light, like, the television equivalent of comfort food. What is that for you? Mr. Brooks? What is Mr. Brooks? I don't know anything about it. Sell me on it. Tell me all about it, Jay Steele. Man, at the last minute I wanted to turn that piece around so I could put that piece over there, but it didn't happen. So instead I'm left with this lovely giant hole. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. Does anybody really know what? Oh, that's gonna be a little... Oh, come on! My fingers have given up on me tonight. I don't know what that was. I don't know. Serial Killers and Dane Cook. Oh, Will and Grace. That's pretty great. Is the new Will and Grace good? I think it's over now, isn't it? How many seasons did they get rebooted? 1? 2? Serial Killers and Dane Cook. I can't even imagine what that show would look like. Is it a comedy? I don't imagine Dane Cook has the most impressive acting chops. Who knows? Maybe he does. Maybe he secretly went to Juilliard and I had no idea. This is not quite going according to plan, but it's also not totally off the rails yet. Come on, give me a line. Whew, I had like half a second, not even half a second, a fraction of a second to get that into the proper position, and I barely did it. Yeah, this is not working. Okay. Now, oh, come on. I just keep putting everything in the wrong place. I haven't put a piece in a good spot for a while now. That's going to be my new thing. Instead of doing commentary and dumb bits on it, I'm going to just sing everything through the entire... Oops. The whole time. Non-stop singing. Okay, I'm giving up on this one. I'm going to play one more. And then it's done. It is over. I haven't gotten into it yet, though. I mean, the original Will and Grace was delightful. I imagine that the... It's weird. It's weird remaking a 90s sitcom now. Like the Mad About You. I love Mad About You. But then even watching the new one, because they stick to the same style and the same... It feels weird. Because it's like, this doesn't... Like, this worked then. It doesn't work now. But I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It just, something is different. And I can't, I don't know. Oops, that's not where I wanted that to go, but that's fine. Ugh. Tetris with holes in the bottom. That's exciting. That's something I'm working on. And then moving the pieces faster, because if you have the... Oops. Too fast. If you have the button pushed down before the piece comes out, it just automatically starts moving. There's not that like weird pause, which has been screwing me up in the past. And I didn't know that you could avoid that. And somebody sent me a link to a YouTube video where somebody was explaining how they were able to beat a certain level. And I was like, oh, it was a little bit mind-boggling. Wow, that was some back-to-back train wreck moves right here. I don't know. 23 lines, does that still count? Do I have to commit to the rest of this game? I don't have to do anything. I can do whatever I want. I want to go eat pizza and watch a movie. Pizza doesn't tend to be in my post-Tetris celebratory. The stream is over and now I get to celebrate, but watching a movie usually is. I almost always watch a movie right after this. Isn't that fascinating? It is very strange getting used to live streaming and having nothing to say. Because for me, that feels like, oh, what? It feels like poor preparation. But then recognizing that sometimes live streaming is just having a conversation with whoever is dropping in the chats and the comments with you. And you don't have to be prepared. You just show up and you just talk and you listen or read in this case. Oh man, I am tired. I'm feeling the sleepy kicking in. We're doing okay. It's clearing up a little bit. My score isn't totally tragic. So that's something. That'll be a Tetris if it gives me a line. Oh, come on. Nope. No line, and now we got a bunch of stuff. I'm making it worse for myself. No, 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 no. Okay. Ah. Will and Grace. Molly Shannon screamed it at Karen. Accept the things you cannot change, bitch. Jay Steele, why did you drop that quote in there? Is that something from Will and Grace? I feel like I missed it. Okay, I lied. This is going to be the last one, but for real this time because I'm really tired. Oh my gosh, we're off to a horrific start. You hate to see it, truly. All right, we're going to just play through it. But I'm not in the middle of the screen, which is kind of messing me up a little bit. Have I not been in the middle of the screen the entire time? Because I was playing okay earlier. Ugh. Come on. Really? Really? Molly Shannon was on the new Will and Grace. That's exciting. I love Molly Shannon. Have you seen Other People? Anybody? Anybody seen Other People? It's a very good movie. You should watch it if you haven't. But she's in it and she is so good. Okay, I'm restarting. One more. You learned that from... Oh, it is everywhere. It's the Serenity Prayer. It's used a lot in Alcoholics Anonymous as well. My mom actually has it on a little piece of artwork by her door, which I didn't expect to see there, but I was like, oh, I like that quote. Okay. Wait, why you rewatch what movie? Oh, Mr. Brooks? Dr. Brooks? What was it? Hang on, now I forgot. Mr. Brooks. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wow. What? I did not pause that in a very friendly place for myself. Okay. Hang on. Come on. What is happening to me today? Ugh. I mean, that still doesn't even get me out of trouble. Okay, one more time. That the Serenity Prayer is, I think they say that at every AA. I've never been to an AA meeting, but I'm pretty sure that they say it at every AA meeting. So it would make sense. That is accurate and correct to my best knowledge. I have learned about AA things. I've been to support groups that were like sort of structured off of it. I didn't like it because I wasn't trying to like quit drink. Like there wasn't like a habit or a thing that I was trying to break or like relearn any kind of particular habits. I just was like, I just want a support group of other people who have been through similar experiences who I can connect with and bond with. Bond by itself, not a word. And I want to bond with them. Boy, the game, I think I'm just not supposed to be playing anymore. I think that's what's happening here. Oof. Okay, good. I wasn't really sure if that line was going to actually make it all the way over there. There was a solid chance that it was not going to, and then it did. So that was lucky. Well, I'm glad that in the new Will and Grace, Karen was able to find support to deal with what in retrospect did look like a bit of a drinking problem. All right, these single lines are gonna just kill my score. All right, there we go. Ooh. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. Okay, there were two back-to-back pieces that I really did not try to put where they went. They just went off in their own whole territory. All right, well, this is tragic. I'm going to stop now. Where's my OBS? There it is. Okay. I'm going to stop this music. It's still playing on mine. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Oh, episode from 2004. There is not an auto drop on the 1984 NES. I sometimes play Tetris Effect. I like Tetris Effect, and you can auto drop there, but this one you have to just hold. You do get more points, though. If you hold the down button down until it drops, you get extra points for that. So, yeah. You're watching the OG. Oh, the original one. Did she go to AA in the original one? Did she deal with her problems there? And Molly Shannon was in it? I do not remember that. I mean, I guess I didn't watch it that obsessively. If Molly Shannon had like a smaller recurring character part, I probably would have not. I may not have known that. Anyway, you should watch other people because Molly Shannon stars in it, and she is so good in it. I think she was nominated for Best Actress in a couple of different award shows. I think she sort of got robbed. I think she could have had an Oscar for that one, at least a nomination. No Grace Wood for the free food. Nice. All right. Well, I think I'm going to do music this coming Wednesday. So if you want to join me Wednesday evening, for I don't know what the magic words are. Wednesday evening I'm going to do music, probably like 6 p.m. ish Central Time. And then next Monday I'll be back here doing Tetris, maybe with someone, maybe without. I don't know. Who knows? But hope to see you then. Have a wonderful night. Jay Steele and Nikki, I'll see you around. I don't know what that is. That was me like tipping my hat, but it also looked like I'm flipping you off from my hat. I should have just tipped my hat. This is how, let me do the end again. Jay Steele, Nikki C, Master Ranch. Have a good night. Hat tip. But if I was really smart, I would have had now I can do it because now my cursor's in the right place. Jay Steele, Nikki, Master Ranch. Have a wonderful evening. Tip of the hat.